Good evening, everyone. It is Saturday evening, August 10th, 2024, and it's very humid here in Florida where I am at. And we have that persistent southwest flow across the area where we live, the southeast. The remnants of Debbie are moved on out. They're well out over Canada and over the Maritimes. So Debbie's gone, but her effects have been quite devastating from the flooding rains, the washing away of people's property. Um, Cars have been stalled. Several people have passed away in the floods, and it's been a very, very bad event. And there's a lot of rain and thunderstorms across the rest of the country. And let's take a look at it right now here. We have, looking across the United States, we have quite a bit of thunderstorm and shower activity across the desert Southwest. This is their monsoon season. It kind of kicked in late this year. Thankfully, there's rain over the west, like parts of eastern Wyoming are getting showers and thunderstorms. So is Utah, which Utah is clearing out tonight, but moving into Colorado, moving into places like Grand Junction, moving over to the Denver area, Steamboat Springs. And as you can see across the screen here where my cursor is, you can see some decaying thunderstorms over the Florida Panhandle and southwestern Georgia. There's some thunderstorms that are popped up this afternoon and evening over South Carolina and eastern North Carolina. Those are decaying. It's basically there's a broad southwesterly flow coming in across the area of the eastern United States. It's just moisture coming in across the Gulf like this. And this is because of we have a storm system up here in the Midwest. We have basically a low pressure center here, and there's kind of a front draped down here like this. Let me draw the frontal boundary. Well, this front's not extending that far south. Let me erase some of that. It erased too much of it. You get the picture. There's like this cyclonic flow right up here, big low pressure area. The front extends more like this. This is where the front is. It's not going to make it down here to the southeast, but you can see there's basically southwesterly flow ahead of it. So we're going to continue to have unsettled weather across the eastern U.S. and it's going to be unsettled across the Great Plains tomorrow. It's probably going to expect some possible severe thunderstorm activity across the Dakotas, as well as Nebraska and Kansas and Oklahoma as well. So let's go on to the tropics here because there's a lot going on here. Oops, let me get out of this. Okay, darn it. Come on, exit. Okay, there we go. So let's go on out here to the tropics here. And yes, this is Invest 98L. I'm going to basically use the color red now because red actually is a color symbol for a low pressure area. So you can see very well, there's a very well-defined tropical wave. It's a tropical area of low pressure. So the winds are coming into it like this. They're turning. It's coming around kind of like this as well, and like this. I should have narrowed the colors a little bit, but you can see this is generally heading off to the west-northwest. Whoa, excuse me. Kind of choked up there. And you can also see, let me use a different color here, the drier air that's still in place. You can see some Saharan dust right here, and the air is pretty dry in this general area, but that doesn't matter because it's moistening up right now. It's not terribly dry. It's getting there. And the general thinking is this tropical wave, which has now formed an area of low pressure, is going to track off to the west-northwest. And we're going to look at the computer models here in just a second. But look here behind it. There is also another tropical wave. I'll circle it in, let's see. Let's do blue. What the heck? So here's our Invest 98L that's probably going to become Ernesto. Look behind it coming off the coast of Africa. Another big wave coming off. It's probably going to follow the same path as Ernesto or very close to it. Here's another tropical wave that's moving in the southeastern Caribbean. It's going to be passing just north of the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, however you pronounce that. And you can see we still have unsettled weather across the southeast, as I was describing a few minutes earlier. There's also an interesting feature in the southwest Gulf that I'd like to take a look at. But the general thinking here is this tropical Invest 98L is going to track off this way. It now has a 90% chance of developing in the next 7 days, which in 7 days it should be in this general area right here. We don't know if it's going to be in the Caribbean or if it's going to be over the Southwest Atlantic. But generally speaking, they think it's going to be in this general area right here within 7 days. So basically next Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have to keep our guard up here in Florida because this thing could approach us as a hurricane. Hopefully not, but you know the way things are. So let's erase some of this. So let's look at the computer models real quick here. And here, this is the HAFS A model, the HAFS A parent. So it has a zoomed out approach. Here's the other tropical wave near the Cape Verde Islands off the African coast. But we'll keep an eye on this spot right here as I put this, yeah, let's see, as I put things in motion here. Watch this feature right here, the 1012. That's Invest 98L, which will become Ernesto. So as we move along, it's kind of trying to find itself. A couple low pressure centers are rotating around the general wave. And looks like by, let's see, it's kind of losing itself again. We're going to keep on going. Looks like by Monday, August 12th, pressure start lowering in that general area. And it's still a wave. This model is not showing development real quick with it, but the pressure is falling. By Wednesday, the 14th, is going to be in the vicinity, or should be in the vicinity of Puerto Rico. Now, this is showing where a potential low pressure center is. It could very well just as easily be way up here, or it could be way down here. But this general area, you can see how it's a kind of a darker shade right in this area. Oops, I didn't want that. Oh dear. I didn't want that. No, go away. Go away. Go back. Okay. There we go. Let's take a look at that again. We lost ourselves here. Bear with me. Okay, we're gonna put that back into motion, go a little faster. So we were on the 14th. So Wednesday, August 14th, it's playing around near the Puerto Rico area. Doesn't really strengthen too much. Does not really. Okay, now here on Thursday, the 15th, you can see there's a couple of little mid-latitude low pressure areas off the coast here. This feature here could develop near Bermuda, but we're really interested in this. This is going to be probably by this point Tropical Storm Ernesto, according to this model run. So it's starting to deepen. It's moving slow though, and the fact that it's trying to develop fairly early means it's probably going to turn out to sea, and that's what this model is showing. And it looks to me like it's going to be safely east of Florida, according to the HAFS A model. Now, let's look at another one here. Let's see, that can't be all, that can't be everything. Let's look at the H-Wharf. This is the old one that's being phased out. This is more zoomed in. So let's just zim ahead here real quick. What date were we looking at? Let me get this stupid thing out of the way. So we were saying development would probably happen by the 5th. The other model said by the 15th near the Puerto Rico and the Hispaniola area. So let's see what it's saying. Oh, this one's deepening, strengthening a little. It's getting its act together a little faster. Okay, here is the okay, this one is showing these islands here. These are the Lesser Antilles here. So this is showing a hurricane in the Eastern Caribbean by Wednesday the 14th. This is quite a bit different from the other model. Oh dear. Coming into Hispaniola is a Cat 2 or a Cat 3. Now that'll weaken it really good. And so that model is quite a bit different. Let's look at the GFS for the heck of it. What is the GFS going to say? Okay. Okay, so the GFS shows that at that same point, the Friday the 16th, this is Hispaniola here, and this is a category probably 2 hurricane north of Hispaniola by a good 150, 200 miles. That's what the GFS is showing. And the GFS is even further showing it approaches the Bahamas, and it looks to me like it's also turning north, finding a weakness between 2 ridges of high pressure in the jet stream. And you can see this, here's Massachusetts coast, and you have a category 2 hurricane 280 to 350 miles off the coast there. So according to these model runs, they are suggesting that a trough is going to set up in the jet stream, and that's probably not what I should be looking at here. Well, let's look at it real quick. Um, let me do something different here. So let's use dark blue for this. So here, the jet stream is kind of flowing zonally across the country, but there is probably going to be a, a upper level low and trough from Canada that's going to push farther south. And let's just see what it's suggesting here of what's going to happen. So probably it's suggesting something like this. There's going to be a dip in the jet stream like this. So the wind flow pattern is going to be like this. And as Ernesto is going to be approaching from the east-southeast, make that a little bit bigger. So here comes Ernesto coming along like this. Some of the models are suggesting it's going to do something like this, and boom, out to sea. Now the H-Wharf showed it down here and then emerging up and going up like this also. So a lot of the models are showing it missing the East Coast, but it's way too early to tell because perhaps the trough here lifts its way out further. I'm just drawing that arrow to show you. And let's just say a high pressure ridge builds in here and pushes these storms further west. So it's still too early to say for sure if Ernesto is going to miss the U.S. East Coast. But right now, the models are feeling pretty confident it's going to come up in this general area right here, several hundred miles, certainly 500 to 800 miles east of Florida, and probably 200 to 400 miles off the coast of North Carolina. So that's looking good. I hope that's what happens because we still have a lot of hurricane season to go. And I'm really hoping that it's not going to be that we get a lot of misses this year because it's already been bad with the two storms that have made landfall already, that being Beryl and Debbie. So anyway, I'll report back when I have more information, and I hope you all have a good evening.